What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of First Round Showdown with me, Slomo, and Shadaloo. What is going on, guys?
Hello, hello.
Hi
This week,
there.
this week we're going to be talking about the infamous Silent Hill series, Silent Hill 2 to be exact, for the PlayStation 2. Got some feelings about this one, that we will be getting into. But yeah, if you guys have ever actually played this game in the series, everybody's got their own feeling about it. It is what it is. Not too bad. I just had something up. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. One of my windows just shut down.
I'm surprised it wasn't Windows that shut down. Loves to do
Right,
that at the
right,
least opportune time.
right. Absolutely. Silent Hill 2 North American box art. Not too bad. It looks like definitely a little bit of terror there. Developed by Team Silent. Published by Konami. A lot of great stuff here. Platform was PlayStation 2, then came out for the original Xbox and also Microsoft Windows. Released in 2001. Survival horror game, single player only. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, who wants to go first?
Well,
I was gonna say, should somebody start on a positive note? Well, is that how we should break it up? Should we do positives and then
no, I mean, I
get
guess we
into
could
it?
just whoever feels about whichever. We got a couple people in here. Nova Star's in here. Josh Evans is in here. Thank you guys so much for stopping in.
hello, hello. Let Slow-Mo go first.
Everybody,
Slow-Mo cannot
So
go
we're starting
first.
on a low note.
Slow-Mo cannot go first. For reasons that have to do with editing.
okay.
Well, I mean,
Um,
you could definitely talk through it first. You don't immediately have to share your clip first.
yeah, that's
trying
true.
to take a gut
Okay.
reaction. Yeah,
This game,
is a game.
I guess, is the game. This game to me felt like a dumpster fire filled with baby raccoons. Like it was not a great time. And I'm sorry to anybody who loves this game because I feel bad for you, kind of a little bit. No, I don't feel bad for you, and I get why people like it, but I would not play this game again. At all,
Really
ever,
alienating
ever.
the audience here. Yeah.
I sure am. I would never play this game again, ever. Yeah, and that's how I feel. Next,
You know what, I'll go Freedom because I think you've got definitely more of a positive outlook on it. So I'll go next, and then you can end it with that positive vibes there, the positive vibes. Okay. So my thing, because I think I'm going to be the great divider here. Slow-mo's on one end of the spectrum, Freedom I think is on the other, and I think I'm probably right in the middle, to be completely honest. I think there's a lot about this game that is reminiscent of a certain era of gaming. It's not a way that a game would be made today. I think there's things at the time that this game did that nobody else had done or was doing. So there's, I don't want to say groundbreaking per se, but definitely raising the bar. In that, I think there are things at the time or decisions that they made at the time that were poor in light of what other games were doing. I think the one, I talked about right before we got in here was the decision to use tank controls. That decision didn't really make sense to me at all, considering this was on the PlayStation 2. Every PS2 had a DualShock controller. There was no non-DualShock iteration. So the analog sticks were there. They had an option to do something with modern
They
control.
just didn't utilize it.
And they didn't utilize it. And there were plenty of other 3D games, while even rough around the edges, with experimenting with these kind of like newer 3D adventure games. Like there were other games that seemed to hop on and use them just fine. So it's one of those things that it's like I just fundamentally don't understand why they they built it that way. But you know, there's a lot of things to like love about it for its type of genre, in my opinion. Things like the soundtrack or the just even the audio or lack thereof sometimes is very atmospheric, and there are certain areas where it is very unsettling. That you know, it's not even so much a music. Sometimes it's like just noise. It's weird, awkward, unsettling noise. And that still works really well. There were certain areas where it's like, oh shit, I don't really want to go through that door. You know, like listening, hearing what you're gonna hear. I think the use of audio with the every game loves to do that with the static on the radio. Like you got the walkie-talkie or whatever, and if bad guys are nearby, you start to hear static creep up on the radio. All I can think of is I'm like, that would be something that would have been awesome with like the DualShock 4 controller that you put, because they did it with Resident Evil, the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, that the walkie-talkie audio comes through the controller. So it's like you kind of have a walkie-talkie. I'm like, dude, I would love to be sitting there playing this game, and all of a sudden I hear static coming from
through your controller.
Kind of
yeah, dude, that would be pretty great. Yeah.
So there's stuff like that where I'm like, this is kind of cool. I like some of that. The monsters and enemies, or you know, if you like body horror stuff, I love stuff like The Thing. We were just watching Life the other night. I mean, like, I love weird body horror-y stuff. This game's got that. All the Silent Hill games generally do. But I'm extremely divided because of just movement in general is so rough around the edges. The puzzles in general, I don't think are necessarily difficult, but some of the items that you need to complete the puzzles, I felt were they shouldn't be self-explainable, but you should have some general idea of what you're looking for, what you need to do. And there's, I mean, you know, the one I'm going to bring up, which is the garbage chute one. I was like, how the hell is anybody supposed to know that you got to shove this random orange juice that you find down a garbage chute to unplug the garbage chute to then go look at the garbage bag outside and find it?
Right.
I'm like, come on, man. So, that and the save point mechanic, which is kind of unavoidable in older games. Autosave wasn't a thing till much later, but the save points, I don't want to say they're poorly placed, but what sucks with it is your health. Not really knowing how much health you have, unless you go into the menu, is like, what the F? I don't know why so much stuff is focused around going in and out of the menu and reading things. I'm just like, this does not help at all. I don't know if it's
Resident Evil did the same thing with the green, yellow, and red health bars.
Yes, and I don't get it. Even up to like RE4 and stuff, the one that everybody loves, I don't get it. Why? You're 4 games in, make it better. I don't know. The only
difference with that was in Resident Evil 2. If you were good, he walked regular. If you were medium, he walked with a slight limp. If you were about to get taken out, you were staggering. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I never got to a point in Silent Hill 2 where I was like in trouble of dying. But I saw Shadowloose die, and there was no way you would have known that he was about to die until he fell over.
Yeah.
I got killed by a bug that was walking around.
Oh, those damn things.
And I had no idea what my health was. And I'm like, wait, what is happening? I was like, is this like a cutscene thing? Like something is triggering? And it's like, oh no, game over, back to main menu. I'm like,
what? Nobody would have known that you were about to die. Like you got
unless you
what
went
I'm talking about
inventory.
Specifically is I saw him in the pool with the
the shamblers or whatever.
Yeah, and one of them spit in his face and he just croaked.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no like you know, some games if there's no health bar, there will be like the edges will like change color, you'll start to like fade.
Well, one of the things I noticed, and I don't know if it was just me, but I don't know how you guys were playing it, but I do know that if you got close to like death, your controller will shake. That at least happened for mine. I got down to the red a couple times, and
but
my controller.
Did you play physical copies?
I have, like I said, you guys already know I have the physical copy, but I had actually emulated it through Launchbox. But even then, for the PlayStation 2 controller, when I played back in the day, I do remember it did that. It was very faint.
Huh.
But even then, my my controller would shake.
Maybe it has to do with the controller you use. 'Cause
Maybe.
mine did not shake,
That-
but I also,
Okay.
like I said, I didn't die. So
Right.
That
wouldn't
would have
know.
absolutely changed my outlook on the health thing.
But
Like
see-
totally. And I'll say this really quickly. I tried. I'm still gonna figure it out because it's pissing me off. But I've got my PS3 Fat there, and I want it there because it's backwards compatible with everything. So I want that hooked up to the capture card so I can play PS2, PS3, PS1
Right.
shit ready to go. I tried to play on original hardware that game. I
Yeah.
could not get it figured out. So I ended up emulating it, but I'm using a DualShock 4 controller. It should,
Yeah.
I mean, vibration
It
exists
should
there.
have. It should have. Yeah. So
Huh. So which controller did you use, Freedom?
I have this Xbox like third party aftermarket
Oh, okay.
whatever. And I
Interesting.
mean, I
Okay.
have it, I have it set directly into my directly into my PC. So, but a couple times, yeah, when I did get down into the red, it did start shaking. Which I mean, like you said, unless you go into the inventory and you saw your little picture, whether it was
Yeah.
green, whether it was regular, or whether it was red, that was the only other way you could figure out what your health bar was. So,
Well, and so much of that is like unexplained too. And I don't know, coming off of Silent Hill, honestly, I've never played Silent Hill 1. I mean, I know enough about it, to be dangerous, but I've never played it. And so I don't know if health worked the same way there. And they just expected, hey, people like Silent Hill 1 obviously are going to pick up Silent Hill 2, so they already know this.
right.
I didn't even know that's how you viewed your health kind of thing. So I went completely in blind with that. And I'm sorry, Sloan, I didn't mean to cut you off before. I hope I didn't make you lose your thought.
No, I mean, I just don't like I agree with the health thing. And if maybe it depends on the type of controller you're using, if it shakes and all that stuff. Because like I said, I don't know if I came close to death or not, but mine never shook like the whole game. So, but like also to me,
You
like
shook in anger. You personally shook. You were mad, but
like, even just like a slight vibration, like, does it happen anywhere else in the game? Because
I
if
don't
you're getting
think
I was gonna say, if you're getting attacked and your controller starts shaking, it could just be because you're getting hit. You don't know,
right.
yeah, I didn't think about
Yeah.
that.
Like
Absolutely.
that's a bad mechanic. Like you need to put some kind of like on-screen indicator, something that is visually like says like you're about to die.
Right.
That's the other thing you could do with the new DualShocks, because some of the games do that, where the light bar changes color based off of what your health is.
Oh, I don't
could
pay.
be-
I've never looked at my controller ever while I'm playing video games.
I agree with that, but if you're usually playing in a dark room, there is some like ambient light, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, coming off of it. You can kind of
No,
I don't know. I enjoyed that with the Resident Evil remakes. I would love if they did that. I'm hoping.
give me an
hoping
on-screen
it's not
indicator. Like every
Okay.
game now, like if they don't have like a health bar, like your screen starts to turn a little red or something like that.
Yeah.
Come on.
So you
Or
don't
like
you don't
do
care
like
about the ambient
out.
period.
Yeah.
You're like put a health bar on there. I don't care.
Yeah. I need some kind of on-screen indicator. Like it doesn't have to
Okay.
be a health bar, but like at least after like somebody hits, my screen starts to like fade
Like
out or
start
something.
fade in or something. Yeah. And
Right.
to indicate that you're taking stress.
Give me tunnel vision or something.
Yeah.
Let me know I'm about to kick the bucket.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I guess I'll go. If you want to play the video, we'll turn the audio down a little bit. But
Josh says Konami and Capcom wanted players to do item and character maintenance while playing. They didn't think ahead. I guess.
I mean, I feel like Shadowloo says, at the time that it came out, Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2, nobody did that, at least. The only other game that had come out that was like that was the Resident Evil series. So Silent Hill 1, and then they came out with Silent Hill 2. The whole idea, it was like a shot in the dark when they created the first one, which is actually there's something behind the developers, Team Silent. It was actually a group of people that had tried creating a bunch of titles before for Konami, and they were like on their last leg. They were all actually, it's a small backstory. The whole team was about to get canned because they just couldn't come out with a good title. So they developed themselves and called themselves Team Silent because, something about they couldn't say something about it. It was like their last, hurrah. And so they made the first Silent Hill. and it turned out to be like a banger for at least the time anyway. So then they created Silent Hill 2, and like I said, not a lot of things were being done like that at the time. Like the fog mechanic was the limitation of the PlayStation 2 and the creation of something like that. Though, so they
Draw distance.
that's what it was for the first one at least, and
Yeah,
because it was
PS1.
such a big draw, yeah, like you said, for the PlayStation 2, they decided to keep that and just make it like a main mechanic for the game. So.
Before I roll Freedom's video game footage, I just want to say I hate the fog mechanic too.
Everybody hates a fog mechanic.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Let's roll some Freedom here.
But yeah, so like I said, the game, I grew up with this game. I got it when it came out. I was happy with the first one and the second one. All of them in the series were pretty great. The only one I couldn't really get in with was Downpour. But yeah, you run into 3 different characters. This is Angie right here. She's basically looking for her mother. She looks like an older woman to me, but actually, it looked in the backstory, she's like 19. But anyway, that's the first
Really?
you see. Yeah, she's supposed to be 19. The one guy Eddie you run into in the yeah, I got the crap scared out of me there. Eddie they're both supposed to be teenagers. Like Eddie's supposed to be 19 also, which he looks like he's 25.
Yeah.
But
Eddie looks like a 40-year-old Packers fan.
He looks.
Yeah, he does. He looks like
Boy.
I walked into him in the bar last night out here.
So,
I mean,
but yeah, it's based off of and one of the things about the backstory, technically in Silent Hill, is each Silent Hill is supposed to be based around the trials and tribulations they went through, the dark and emotional traumas they've been through. Angela, I can't really get into too much because it's pretty much too graphic for at least the podcast or whatever, but she was essentially abused by her father and her brother, and you can actually see it when it comes to this monster right here. The pistons in the wall are a very, very serious indicator of obviously what had happened. And this boss's name is Abstract Daddy, if you guys can pull anything out of that. But yeah, so he's pretty much trying to save her. Eddie, when you run into Eddie, he's a bigger dude. He gets bullied all of his life, and so his thing is he basically takes out this bully, and he's basically running from the cops, so he actually takes somebody out. And then Maria that you run into in the game, she is basically James's emotional feelings of whether or not how he's trying to deal with his wife's death, basically. And he's trying to fight basically just emotions of how things transpired with all that. So I don't know if you guys know too much about the actual story, but anyway, you have to fight Eddie here. He basically just loses his mind. He turns into a just a psychopath. And then this right here, I'll let you guys actually listen to this real quick. So this is him. She's sick. He's basically at her bedside, and you have to kind of put things together.
So there you are, James. Did you get the letter? Did you find Mary? If not,
that little
let's
girl
get going already. Okay?
is a little. Yeah.
Mary's gone. She's dead.
Liar, that's a lie.
Is that little key kicker?
No,
Yes.
not true.
Oh my god.
That's what I was like. Forget
She
that
died
girl.
'cause she was sick.
Get out of here.
I'd have
No.
fed her to one of those
Right here.
things with no
I
arms.
killed her.
Yeah. I'd have done something. I don't know.
So yeah, so it comes out. Spoiler alert from 20 years ago. He winds up taking out his wife. Now she's sick. A lot of the backstory that I couldn't put on here because I couldn't make it a 10-minute video is she was sick. She didn't want to suffer in the hospital anymore, and there's a couple more audios and a couple more cutscenes that you see. And in so many ways, she basically asks him to help her subside her pain, and he pretty much does. So depending on how you play the game is which ending you got. I got the best ending, which is where James Sunderland comes to terms with what had happened, and he basically has to forgive himself because he was just doing what his wife wanted him to do. And then him and Laura actually leave Silent Hill, and it's pretty much the best ending you can get. So depending on what you do, you can get a good ending, you can get a bad ending. There's a funny ending.
Yeah, there's
for
always a goofy ending, right?
Yeah, there's a goofy
Yeah.
ending second playthrough if you do certain things where basically you walk into this room and this like corgi dog or whatever is literally at this like control panel basically saying, "Hey, joke's
It-
on you. This has all been like a simulation. Ha, everything's funny." And
It's
then
always
there's
a Shiba Inu, isn't it? It's always a Shiba Inu. They kind of
something,
look like
yeah.
that. They've got like a
Yeah.
big, yeah,
Yeah, something like that. And then there's a I think it's I don't know if it was in some type of downloaded content for the newer like the PlayStation 3 version, but there's apparently an alien ending where like you get abducted or something like that. So I have no idea. So
yeah. There's a Shiba Inu alien one in Homecoming because I know
Yeah.
I got that ending at one point in time.
yeah.
I think the important thing to point out here is you got an ending. So any
An
ending you
ending.
could have got would have been the good ending because
Oh yeah.
compared to the other two here,
Yeah.
you got an ending.
That is okay though. But yeah, the game I I enjoy the game. I grew up with this series. I kind of you at the time the controls, the PlayStation 2 came out, they were upscaling on their controls, which I completely agree with you, Shadaloo, that they could have did the controls a bit better. They could have did it like they did with Homecoming, you know. But like I said, it's a bias for me, so I can't really add too much to it myself because I grew up with it. I enjoyed it back in the day. I always loved to come back to it and play at least this one in the series. So it to each his own, really. If it's something that people grew up with and they didn't enjoy it all the way around, or just someone trying to get back to playing it now. So if they do the remake or a remaster, like you said, Shadaloo, and they at least work on the controls, I think it will bring a lot more people back to, what it could be.
Yeah, the Silent Hill 2 remake. Did they actually announce a release yet for it? It's this year. It's coming out this year.
I'm not 100% sure, but they definitely need to
Yeah.
bring it out on both systems, though.
Oh,
You know
and it says it just really quickly here. It says it's going to come out for Windows and is a timed console exclusive for PlayStation 5. So it means
Wow.
it'll probably be out on other consoles too. Probably be on Xbox.
So what
Right.
I hope happens is right before the day of release, all their electronics crash and it gets erased forever. Okay, you ready to watch Shadaloo's video, guys?
Sure.
So again, I didn't carry over any audio because I know how to talk myself down a rabbit hole, so I'll just talk over. But I wanted to do some of just kind of the atmosphere. So one thing I actually do like about this game, I typically like games like this. It's like you kind of have an open world, but it's contained into a particular area in that world. So this is very much so in the town of Silent Hill, right? And as you go on, you basically unlock areas within it. So like the apartments, you said there's the apartments, there's the hotel, there's kind of a prison area, but they're all in Silent Hill. And you're going to go all around this town. There's different ways to navigate through it. There's shortcuts, things like that. I really do enjoy that. I personally do like the atmosphere. I think it is a creepy atmosphere. I know it was really bred out of a technical limitation in the first game. And then, it just is something they stuck with it. People ended up liking. You can see there's a lot of like cutscenes that take you into action. That was getting kind of your first weapon there, the board. This is one of my least favorite locations in the game, which there's a lot like this, which is in the apartment complex. A lot of dark hallways, a lot of looking at your map, seeing what doors you've opened and haven't opened. Griff was right. It's a locked door simulator. This is that same scene. I like this. And the reason I brought it up is because they do a lot with camera angles to sort of build tension. You basically illuminated your character by the flashlight that you could pick up. And I thought that was really nice. I mean, there's, definitely that's what's so weird about it is there's a lot of scenes that are framed very well for a movie, not framed well for a game. You could tell they like these guys liked movies. This is a map of the world. I just kind of wanted to show like, hey, this is pretty much Silent Hill proper. a lot of the locations you can go to. You mark this up on your main map. And again, I like the idea of like, yep, here's a town. There's a lot to dig into and all these different locations in the town. So you'll be getting to experience them all. And then, yeah, more of the apartment. Just kind of wanted to show the atmosphere of what that looks like. Some of these are kind of creepy, especially when there's audio. There is a good chunk of time which there is no audio. But when there is like the just uneasy sound in the game, it is creepy as hell. These are your puzzles. This is Slow-Mo's favorite part of the game. When you get to move the clock hands around and unlock the clock that you can push around. A lot of the puzzles are like this. It's generally you need to interact with some sort of device, and the clues are kind of elsewhere. The clock one was pretty easy. And our good old friend Pyramid Head, I know this is kind of where he makes his debut. Somehow he just sort of became synonymous with the series, even though it doesn't really make sense. Everybody seems to know Pyramid Head, which he was the first boss, and that's exactly where I ended this game because it drove me insane. And I would really like to mention, with the save points and the save system, it is kind of like the moment you die, it's you can't just start the boss fight over again or whatever. It's like, nope, it's a main menu game over. And that was I don't know, terrifying in itself. That was probably one of the scariest parts of the game is getting that. There's a lot of map looking. I wanted to show a little bit of what the maps look like. You can see all the little red scribbles are doors you tried and you can't go through. Any of the arrows are stuff you can go through. And you're going to be looking at your map a lot. This is a map reference game for sure. You need to look at it. You need to use it all the way around. Yep. Yeah. And then here's one of the last puzzles. I was showing this, but this is me literally ranting about it. I think I'm going to post this as a video on how much this is driving me nuts because you have to go in and out of the menu to remove a coin. You have to go into a menu to use a coin. You have to do all these different things. And there is me officially gaming over at the first boss and just being completely fed up.
It's like, I'm done.
So, I am done. I'm done. I'm shooing it away. So yeah, that's it. There's Silent Hill 2. What a way to end that video. It's Silent Hill 2. So yeah, that's where I got, which I'm trying to think of how many hours in. I mean, Steph and I played on stream for probably close to 3 hours, and I maybe played another like 30 minutes. So that's probably 3.5 hours into what, an 8-9 hour game kind of thing. Yeah. I got through the first third. It felt like got to the end of the apartment. So yeah, that's where I was at. And rage was brewing.
Yeah. Like I said, every location is pretty much that way. It's, there's the apartment, there's the prison-esque type of area. There's the, historical society, which that's actually where you kind of dive down and you go into another huge area. And then you finally go to the hotel on the lake, which it's just a huge hotel. And there's like 3 different levels. It's the same thing. Up a staircase, down an elevator, check all the doors, run back and forth 10 different times. It's pretty much what it was all about. Like Griff says, it is a locked door simulator, pretty much.
It is 100%.
So, all right. Well, let's roll my footage now.
There you go.
Is it just gonna be the start screen, start game, and that's it? And it'll just end right there.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
He like physically breaking the controller.
Let me turn that volume down on this. You all get to watch me run for a minute and a half. That's all this game really. Yeah. And it doesn't even do that good. Like, you'll be running, and it would be just regular third-person view, and you'll keep running, and then it'll switch camera angles. Dude, you're staring them right in the face for no reason.
Well,
and,
yeah.
And then your brain has to be like, okay, don't switch your controls around. Like, don't reverse the controls because it's going to mess you up. And then you got to figure out how to get back into the position you were running in because it's stupid tank controls.
Yes.
This is the only part where I use the gun. We all included Eddie barfing in our videos, which was cool.
Great scene. Great scene.
It was the only scene I saw.
Is this a representation of how you felt playing this game?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And like, I wanted to like this game. Here's me digging through a toilet. To get a wallet. And
Why we did that? I don't know.
This is as far as I made it. I opened that safe, got my bullets out, and I quit the game and did not play anymore.
Never looked back.
Never looked back. And like part of it was due to time constraints. My work schedule was like off this week. It was different than normal, so it did. Like the last chance I got to play video games before today was Friday morning.
Yeah.
So like I didn't have a lot of time, and with other stuff, but I didn't. If you want to know, I did not beat this game, and I have no intentions on doing so. And like
there's nothing wrong with that.
I see like back in the day, how people might have liked this game. That's cool. And if this is your game, more power to you. But it's not mine. It did not hold up well in my opinion. There's a lot that maybe back in the day was good, but now is not that great. And tank controls is one of them. And I struggled with that. And just like you're running down one path and it switches camera angles on you 3 times. And I feel like it was trying to be like cinematic in a way, but I just don't think that worked.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Don't mean to cut you off.
I don't know what they were doing, and I just don't see the appeal of this game. Sorry to whoever I let down.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own personal preferences, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Josh says at least you give it a try, and that's
that's
we're
all
gonna
try to do.
We're all gonna give
effort,
every game a
right?
try.
No.
No. I almost feel bad giving this game a ranking because I know like a lot of people love this game, and my ranking is going to drag this down.
That is okay.
So-
that is why it is a group ranking.
Yeah, because I'm going to say right now, out of all the games that we've played so far on the podcast, we're on episode 19. 19 different games. This is my least favorite.
Even Chacon that's not on the list.
I would rather play Zelda than play this game.
Hey, well, I would too, but that's not that's not indicative of anything.
But everyone here knows that I don't like Zelda games either.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
He had to power through Oracle of Seasons.
Right. And I would rather play Oracle of Seasons than play this.
Yeah, I think it's very clear that a lot of the ways they try to do things, the choices with the camera and things like that, were to be cinematic. They wanted things to have a very movie feel to it, right? They wanted, I mean, getting the flashlight is a perfect example of that. When you walk into that room, it's basically the light is illuminating you and you're facing the camera, right? So, and once you get close enough to walk towards it, you see that it's a mannequin with a flashlight on, and that's how you get the flashlight, and that busts into a whole other kind of fight and stuff like that. Shots like that are great. The shot of going through the fire escape into the next building, that's a very cinematic shot. It's one of which they used in the Silent Hill movie that they made. Yep. I mean, they literally shot for shot some of the Silent Hill scenes. So they try to do that, but man, this is like a perfect example, in my opinion, of like how movie stuff does not translate to games in the same way that people who make movies based off of large video game franchises don't translate well most of the time either, right?
Most of the time it does not.
Yes. So it's I don't know. I feel like this game would be a fantastic case study for people getting into game design. Like, sit down, truly look at it as, widely regarded as probably one of the highest praised Silent Hill games of the series. Like, sit down, try playing it yourself, and literally do a compare chart of like, this is absolutely what works, this is what does not. And that what does not, I guarantee, if you improve that or change that, you will have a great game pairing it with what does work. So,
Mr. Chaos, welcome in. Just saw that.
I really hope that they fix some of this stuff for that Silent Hill 2 remake that they're doing, because people, I feel bad for anybody who wants to play that if they don't.
Well, that's the one thing that I said. I said playing this actually made me more excited for the remake, because if they improve on it, if they do a lot of the quality of life stuff that I think is desperately needed, or like I use it as like a great baseline is the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes for the PS4. Those rocked. And there are so many people that were fans of the originals that are like, yeah, but it's not, like they changed some stuff from the original. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. This is a great game. It is fun to play. It looks
the Resident
amazing.
Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes definitely were great. I got them for the Series X.
Yeah. And they're fantastic. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if they do the same thing, or they take that kind of same approach or whatever on the Silent Hill 2 remake, like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, I will be down to play that game start to finish, because
if it was the same controls, if it was the same idea, but they touched base on it, but also made it a fresher game. Absolutely, brother Rel, what's going on, man? Great to see you here, buddy. And Hokie just stopped in.
Hey, Hokie, welcome in.
So let's get ahead and
ready to rank her.
Let's rank it. Let's rank her.
Ranker sounds kind of like a. Can we say that on here?
All right. Don't pay attention to Silent Hill 2 being in the F slot. I just put it there to make sure it was on the screen. It's not an indicator of how I felt about the game.
Even though,
so I would like to rank this in F. I wouldn't even put it at an F. Really, I still wouldn't put it at an F, even though I hated this game. I would still put it at a D.
Hot take.
There's no way that this game is the worst game, and that's what I'm saving F for. Something that just is a bomb.
There's got to be something so bad. You're saving that for Dino Crisis right there. No,
I'm saving this for. I don't know what I'm saving for, but I'm saving F. I'm putting this D.
Looking at kind of what's on the bottom down there on the list, like, I have a hard time thinking. I don't know, Flashback. I'm not sure what that is.
Genesis.
It is a Genesis game? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see what you would actually find fitting for an F. That's so bad. That's for an F.
Maybe nothing.
If we continued that week of Chakan, it would have probably been an F.
You think so?
But see, I wouldn't even have put Chakan at an F. Really?
Really?
Like, there were parts of Chakan that I really liked.
Okay. So I was gonna say, give us the main reason. Like, what was the main thing that did you in that it was like in your head? You were like, "Yep, I hate this enough to make this an F." Like, what was it? What was the main reason
for which game?
Silent Hill 2.
It's not an F.
Oh yeah, he was making a joke. Yeah.
What was the main thing that like hit you that was that a D?
I mean, obviously the controls and the cameras are
controls
awful.
And camera. Okay.
Like that's the fundamentals of the game, and it didn't work for me. Tank controls and flopping camera angles around for no reason. Like, I don't need to see his face ever, and unless it's a cutscene.
Well, one of the things. Well, I know it's too late now, and if I would have seen you playing, I would have probably told you if you pressed and held L2 at any point in time, it automatically centers it to where you're behind the character. So running down that hallway, yes, while Slow-Mo was running down that hallway, you literally could have just held L2, and it would have straightened back out right behind the character.
And Chaos says the plot of the game is the only redeemable part for him, and I'd have to. Like, the concept of the game is good. The execution of the game is awful.
Well, so that's I'm curious. Again, I think it's one of those things that I'm curious as to how you would feel playing one of the more modern Silent Hills, or even this remake. Like, I as collectively as a group, I almost wish we could all play the remake and take a real hard look between the two and see how that feels. But that's another point for another time. So
Josh says tank controls are awesome, and I agree. Tank controls are awesome if you're playing as a tank.
If you're driving a tank. If you're driving,
if you're not in a tank, why would I want to control a tank?
Don't need tank controls. No.
Right. All right, Slow. What's it gonna be, buddy?
For me, it's D.
D. Okay.
What about it, Shadowloo?
Okay, so I'm gonna I really thought Slow-Mo was gonna keep it at an F. Truly, I did. So here's my take on it. I feel like I'm very much split. There's things that I like about this game. Atmospherically, it's great. As Slow-Mo said, story conceptually, it's great. It's interesting. You're like, what the hell's going on here? I want to know more. I think the sound design is fantastic. I do absolutely love, what carried over from the first one, the static on the radio. Really just some of the uneasing, like almost lack of soundtrack. It's almost like just kind of like a pulsating, earthy beat behind, some of these areas. It's not necessarily a song per se. I like some of the ambient soundtrack and stuff like that. I think the sound design was really good. Visually, I mean, it looks like a PS2 game. There's games obviously that look better now, but I think it looks great for the era and stuff like that. However, praising those things, you hit the things that take you down. Controls, wonky. The tank control, I said it before, but I don't know what they were going for with this. I understand in the PlayStation 1 area, especially with the first game, Silent Hill 1, DualShock controllers were not out at launch. They were not out for a long time. So not everybody had a DualShock controller through the life of the PS1. So they had to make a game that was compatible, that everybody could play. And so you had to do something like tank controls on the D-pad. The PS2, you don't have that excuse. Every console had analog sticks. I don't know why you would stick with that control scheme. And the other main thing that drove me bonkers was the menu system. The idea that I get that you want to be atmospheric, and so you don't want anything on the screen to sort of cloud what's going on, but like not knowing your health, especially in the middle of a boss fight, having to use items through the menu while you're in front of something that uses that item, right, is like, damn, why? There's a lot of things like that it's hard to even for me to argue that it was a thing of the era. Like other games, I can't think of that were doing it outside of Resident Evil. Like that was it. Any other adventure game would not have had that like in there, right? So for those reasons, I really feel like middle of the line. Like this game is definitely for somebody. And the enthusiasts who love it, you gotta hand it to the fans of Silent Hill that love this game. And I've watched some truly entertaining like let's plays of people who've played this all the way through, and I watched it all the way through because it's like entertaining to watch other people enjoy it. This is just one of those titles that is like not for me. And if it's not for me, I have to look at it from an unbiased opinion and really just from a game design perspective and how it holds up today. And for me, it's like middle of the line. It's C. I look at what we have on the B list. This I would never put it on that edge of the middle. Like I would rather play Rocket Knight Adventures or Oracle of Seasons, Ages, or really any of those above there. It probably provides me as much torture as Super Star Wars, and I think that's a fair middle line. Like I'm a C. I see it as a C.
I want to point out one thing that you said that you enjoyed that I personally did not enjoy, and that's the radio static. I feel like the radio static could have been eliminated because, like, okay, first of all, give these things their own, distinct sounds.
They do. As a matter of fact, you can hear them coming.
Yeah, but like that's the point. Like the radio static is there, and I feel as a cheap way of allowing you to like rush through places. And this is definitely a game like Metal Gear Solid where you need to be stealthy. Like you're walking through a town full of monsters and you're running down the middle of the street. And why are they letting off radio signals?
Yeah.
like that makes no sense to me.
Literally the whole time I played the game, whenever I was on the street, I literally just ran by every single one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get rid of those radio sounds, the radio static. If you want to run down the street, once you start hearing those bad guys, like but where are they coming from? Then you got to be stealthy. this game could have had very good stealth elements like Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
You know
that they
one thing
completely
that,
abandoned with a cheap radio static. Now you don't have to do it.
one thing that I do love that games like this do is like when you're in the world, if you kind of wipe an area, if you clean out the enemies, they don't come back. They're not respawning. It's
I
like
agree.
so you have that exploration. It's like what was there. If you took it out, it's
This one,
gone.
I think
And
they constantly respawn.
maybe
I
in the
I
city,
think I don't
but in
know
the buildings they don't,
Oh,
right?
in the buildings they don't know, but if you're in
Okay.
like the overworld, I'm pretty sure they just constantly keep
Okay.
respawning once you get farther back and whatever. But anyway,
That would
for
be
my
obnoxious in the building. Yeah, your turn.
for my ranking, like I said, it's a biased thing for me. I grew up with this. I grew up with the series. I didn't get a chance to talk too much about it, and you guys didn't really get too much of a chance to experience the soundtrack. When you watch all of the cutscenes, like the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. The Silent Hill 3 soundtrack probably is top tier. But they definitely, for understanding the story, seeing each character, I know all of the character progressions. I know each of the characters from playing it and beating it a handful of times back in the day as well. The backstories of all the characters are sad and depressing at times, but it definitely pulls at your heartstrings if you kind of can really think about the story and see what they have to deal with and how their minds are basically just kind of breaking down because of the trials and tribulations they've gone through. The tank controls can definitely be redone in the remake. My personal self, I guess I'm just so used to it from playing it from back in the day. I didn't have a problem with it, and like I said, it's not for everybody. The series isn't for everybody. The controls aren't for everybody. I really feel like everybody would have enjoyed it a little bit more if the controls were 10 times better. I personally would put it at an A, but like I said, that's definitely a biased thing because I love the entire series. I've beaten just about every single one of them except for the ones that came out for the PSP, and I couldn't get into Downpour. Something about it kind of felt a little different, but Silent Hill 2 is probably my most favorite out of the series all the way around. So I would definitely say an A.
I want to point out Chaos here said PS2 had a lot of good games with stealth mechanics too, not like they couldn't have implemented them.
Right,
And like
absolutely.
to me, this game feels like one where you need to be stealthy. Just like
Right.
the ambiance of this game, the story of this game like screams stealth. And I don't even like stealth games. I never would advocate for a stealth game, but this feels like a stealth game and they didn't do.
Casey, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping in there, buddy.
the good
Great
stuff.
to see you.
It really makes you wonder what the Hideo Kojima Silent Hill or Silent Hills
Would have
game would have been like.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah, I agree. So with me being at a D, Shadowless being at a C, and you being at A, I think it's only fair that we throw it somewhere in that B C range.
I mean, if you guys want to throw it at a C, I'm cool with that.
I feel like
it's middle of the line. Again, I look at a C. You're like, it's not bad. It's not inherently bad.
Yeah,
kind of the same argument that I made with Super Star Wars is that it's definitely playable and it's a game and there's nothing wrong with that. And for the fans, it's for the fans. But
I will say Silent Hill fans are passionate about Silent Hill.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love that about them. Kind of like
right.
Like I passionately hate Mario. They passionately love Silent Hill, and they will always live in that game. And I love people with passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
On one final note that I'll bring up too, Freedom. I know you mentioned that we didn't get to hear all the songs that are like great songs. I know on at least Apple Music, I'd imagine it's the same thing on Spotify and stuff like that. Apple Music has, I think, almost all the soundtracks. It's got Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 4. I think I
might have to download that, because I have, and actually, Silent Hill 3, if you have it complete in box, it actually came with a secondary disc with the entire soundtrack on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Freedom. The question is, do you know what you're going to replace this game with?
I do, but the question is, have you guys ever beaten Mark of Cree for the PlayStation 2?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. I think you should check it out.
Mark of
The Mark of
Kree?
Kree, Kri.
KRI.
I mean,
Huh.
obviously, Shadowlux has not played it either because he doesn't know about it.
Let me see.
I mean, it looks
Nova says sound.
oh,
interesting.
yeah. Who made this?
I
Sony
don't-
Interactive Entertainment. Wow.
It looks like Ghost of Tsushima mixed with Hercules.
And Capcom.
Huh. Looks good. Kind of, like from what I saw, I didn't look up video play of it. I just looked up some like snapshots of it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
alright
kind of
to me.
cell shaded, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Little
PS2
bit.
as well? You said?
PlayStation 2 as well. Yep.
Throw that
Yeah,
on the
says
list.
I think C is fair. The people who love this game really love this game. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think to your point, you said this very early on. We think that's a little blinded by nostalgia.
Yeah, this game is very nostalgia blindness, like textbook nostalgia blindness. Like this game was probably really good when it came out because there weren't, games of the caliber of today.
There weren't better controls. Well, at the time, probably not. But they could have still,
Right.
like he
It
said,
just-
worked in the analog sticks.
As somebody who's trying to play this game 20 years later after it came out, I feel like there are better examples of PS2 games that held up way better than this one did.
Yep.
Like
Sure.
there are still plenty of PS2 games that I will go back and play. This did not hold up. It didn't, and
Chaos says
that's
Mark
fine.
of Kree is interesting.
Hey, dude, looking at like the reviews, I mean, it actually has like high praise review.
This is I've
interested.
played and beat this a handful of times back in the day as well.
It looks fun.
This is an amazing game. If you can find a quick gameplay, let everybody see what it's all about.
I can do that.
And that secondary game, it's actually Rise of the Kasai, which continues after the Mark of Kree. It's a secondary game.
Huh. So it even had a sequel. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
I've
get to
never
the
heard
ad real quick. And I'll pull it up. Oh, it's an ad for StreamYard. That's crazy.
Nice.
They know what you do with your computer, Slow-Mo.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, I was going to ask you guys too, right before we get off the topic of Silent Hill. Have you guys... So there's 2 Silent Hill movies out. They're making another one. The second one's awful. It was clearly a
The
cash
second
grab.
is trash.
Yeah, hot trash. I was going to ask if you guys have seen the first Silent Hill movie.
I have
have
seen the
not.
first Silent Hill. Personally, I feel that they threw in. So the Silent Hill movie, I believe, is not scene for scene, but it's close to scene for scene for the
Oh, God.
story of Silent Hill 1. The soundtrack, I think, mostly is from Silent Hill 3. And then Pyramid Head clearly is from Silent Hill 2.
Yes.
I thought it was okay for what it was supposed to be.
It is. It's one of my favorite video game movies for sure. I would say check out the first one, and the director from the first one is coming back to make this new sequel that's coming out. So
There you
all
go.
right. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'd play this.
Yeah,
Beat 'em
not
up.
too bad. And the first mission, obviously they show you about some of the controls and stuff like that. Something to kind of
Well-
get a little bit used to, but yeah.
And I wanted to point out, first of all, this video is an hour and 21 minutes long, so it's not a very long game. But
is that the entire long play?
Is it really?
God
Wait a minute,
dang!
no, I don't think
There's
so.
no way.
Go,
Hey,
go,
man.
to the,
Play?
go to
doesn't say part 1.
well, go all the way to the end.
But I want to point out real quick,
Okay.
6 minutes in, still the tutorial.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's
We'll have a conversation about that.
let me go ahead and let me see
This is
some.
the-
Yeah,
this gotta be-
that's just the first mission.
Here at the end of this,
Yeah, because all he has. Well, what weapons does he have? He's got the
I don't
sword.
know.
Yeah, so that's just the first mission. There's like I don't know how many. It's like
38
15
more missions.
There's like 15
Oh,
missions, and he's
So
got
this
like
isn't the entire
he
game.
gets like 4 different weapons.
So let me.
Okay.
How long is 7.5 hours? It says so. Okay. I mean, all right.
Nova says the second Silent Hill movie is terrible. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's like I was actually just posting it there, but that was the second one was not at all with like the people from the first, it was like they dropped the rating to a PG-13, which the first movie was R.
Right.
It was definitely a lot more jump scare focused with just random elements from Silent Hill in it. And it was 100% like a teenager Halloween movie release. Like, you know, Universal was just trying to maintain IP and get something out there. And it was awful. I hated it. I was so disappointed in that movie because I loved the first one. So I'm really excited for the actual like true sequel, because the director's coming back and he's like scrap the second one you just saw. Like, we're making a true sequel. So anyway, I love me.
You know what I'm excited for?
The wheel.
To see what we're playing next.
Yeah,
The
what are we
wheel.
doing? What are we doing?
Wheel time. Let's shuffle this bad boy up. Let's close this ad out. That's stupid. I don't want ads.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't have to
making
look
any
at ads
revenue
for your free
from that?
service.
You getting any residuals
Might get sued for it.
for advertising their product?
Spin it. Beavis and Butthead
What?
for it.
This is a.
Oh, it was almost Tail Concerto. Gosh dang it!
For
So
it.
wait a
Did you
minute.
play
Wait a
that?
minute. What is it that we came up with before slow mo? If it's a secondary or is it a third?
I mean, that's up
where-
to you. If you go multiple weeks in a row, you can stop that. I mean, that's
this
fine.
is a great game, but it's completely up to you guys. I'm cool with this.
I mean, I'm cool with playing it, but if
Yeah.
you don't want to
Oh,
host again next week,
I
I'm
don't
not-
have a problem. I don't have a problem either way. I just want to make sure everybody gets. Well, we already know everybody gets.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good to play Beavis and Butthead.
All right.
I could never host again and be fun.
Oh, I really? Okay,
I
I
mean,
never
I
had a
think-
problem hosting.
I think out of the group, I'm the least talkative. And
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I talk too much. I'm the opposite side.
I think I
never
feel like
shut
we
up.
all. I feel like we all do pretty good. But
So, like,
Beavis-
I mean, I could sit back and be like throwing random comments, and that's cool with me. I love it.
So Beavis and Butthead for the Genesis, man. So it has to be the Genesis one because the Super Nintendo one is a bit different.
A lot. It's
Oh,
completely different. And best part, are you ready?
He's got it.
New pickups from the other day.
Nice.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yes!
Sega Genesis.
Nice.
Oh, you
Nice.
got it. You just got
Yeah, I
it.
did.
Okay.
I got
Yep,
a few
I have
games.
I have the hard copy myself too. But you know what? You know how amazing my girl is. Check this out, guys. I don't even think I showed you guys. She got me because my birthday and Slow-Mo. I'm just gonna put it out there. Slow-Mo's birthday is coming up as well. My
It's not,
girl,
so is
one
mine.
of the things that she got me was Clock Tower 3 complete inbox
Oh,
for
wow.
the PlayStation 2, which I was going to put on the list, but I'll give us some time after Silent Hill 2.
We actually all have birthdays within like an 8 or 9 day span.
Yeah.
All three of us. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
damn.
mine's coming up too. I'm the
Because
24th.
yours is the 16th, mine's the
Yeah.
17th, and his is the 24th.
Oh nice. Hell yeah, dude.
You know what? I just realized I have a copy of Pitfall for the Genesis.
Yes.
We were just talking
Love
about
it.
Pitfall. So
What else did you get? You said Clock Tower. What else did you get? Anything?
I have a
Clock Tower's
stack-
expensive, right?
It is.
Oh yeah.
So once I've seen it, I'm like, babe, what are you doing? She was like, well, you deserve it. I'm like, all right, I love you, thank you. So I will be streaming that at some point.
I'm just gonna show off the rest of these pickups real quick.
I haven't gotten anything else yet because she wants to give them to me now because she just likes to spoil me. But I told her I wanted to wait until my actual birthday. But I
there we
have a
go.
bunch. I have a bunch of other pickups that I need to actually make a video on for TikTok. So
Y'all see
oh
that?
yes,
Mega
what's
Man
that? Mega
X4?
Man X4. Good
X4.
stuff.
I did.
Oh yeah, that's a
And
great
then-
one.
X-Men, Mutant Apocalypse.
Nice.
Okay. Have
And
you actually
then-
played X4 yet, Slow-Mo, or no?
Nope.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Hokey, yes. I
TMNT
I-
Tournament
yeah.
Fighters.
I don't
Tournament
think. Oh,
Fighters.
nice.
And then Sunset Riders.
Yeah.
Whoa, you got a Sunset Riders? Damn,
good
you spent
stuff.
some money on that.
No, I
You,
didn't.
you treated yourself. Oh,
I didn't. No, I didn't.
okay.
Nice.
Bargain
Hokey,
basement
yes.
pickup then, huh?
Hokey, yes. I've
in the
I've
trash can.
played the first Silent Hill and I enjoyed it myself as well. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a video here soon
You know-
about recent pickups. So
You know, what we
Sunset
should do?
Riders is one of those
Hope
games when it comes up, you have to grab it. You know.
Oh yeah, dude. Sunset Riders is like, I don't know. Hey, more Konami stuff, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Hokey, we should watch the first Silent Hill movie in Discord. We should do a movie night and watch it in there. I would
That'd be
totally be
cool.
down to do that.
that would be totally cool.
Yeah.
So, but it looks like
But-
we are just about done for this episode. Silent Hill 2, all across the board, not too bad. This week coming up is going to be Beavis and Butthead for the Sega Genesis. Can't wait for this. Let's see how everybody enjoys the hospital level on this one.
Oh, God, don't hype me up. I'm really.
Well,
I
you're
will
gonna-
say I'm going in 100% blind.
So
I-
there's a hospital level. I mean, each one of the levels is like a small area, but there's some small difficult spots. There's a specific spot in the hospital where you have to steal this little cart and you're basically driving down the hallway while this guy is chasing you, and there's all these obstacles in the way. But
Okay.
it barely gives you enough time to register what's in front of you so you can actually move where you're supposed to.
All
So
right.
yes, absolutely. I need to get an invite to your Discord, Freedom.
Message me on TikTok, and I will get you an invite.
Yeah, definitely on the First Round Showdown.
Or you
absolutely.
could add me on Discord. It's /slow-mo_gaming, I think. Or it might
There you
just be slow-mo now. I'm not sure.
I don't even know.
Yeah, just look up /slow-mo_gaming. Yeah, /slow-mo_gaming on Discord, and shoot me a message, and I'll get you added to the Discord.
So that's
right,
pretty much
guys.
it. All right, guys.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, it was great seeing everybody. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. Like
So
this,
long.
like the live, like the podcast before you guys leave, and give us some shares. Get some more people into the YouTube channel. That's gonna be it for us, guys. Take it easy.
Have a good one.
All right. See you.